Thanks for joining us for Wink News this morning on WXCW. We still have another hour of news ahead of us.
So Wink News anchors Teresa O'Shea and Sean Kreisman are ready to continue our coverage and let us know what's coming up at 9.
Yeah, Rob and Jen, good morning. Good morning to you, Southwest Florida. We have reports coming in from overnight that North Korea successfully tested a hydrogen bomb, but other countries say they have their doubts.
Plus, there's a meeting just now getting underway today that could affect how your child is tested that you need to know about. A live report coming up on Wink News this morning.
Live from Southwest Florida's news leader, this is Wink News This Morning.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us for the 9 o'clock hour of Wink News This Morning on WXCW. I'm Teresa O'Shea.
And I'm Sean Kreisman. A lot to get to in the next 60 minutes, but first, some of the best video and sound from overnight and this morning in the Wink News Eye Opener.
The real danger for the United States is whether or not North Korea has intentions to demonstrate their capabilities.
North Korea claiming the country detonated its first hydrogen bomb. The White House is not confirming the successful test.
What North Korea really wants is a conversation, recognition, and respect.
Every time I think about those kids, it gets me mad.
In an emotional speech, President Obama announces his plan to increase gun control.
He's calling the measures common sense, saying they have the potential to save lives.
It's not going to solve any problems by having the so-called gun show loophole be taken care of by executive order.
We have a president that views the Constitution as an annoyance.
The State Board of Education is coming together today to determine what your children need to score in order to pass the state's new high-stakes test.
These tests just went into place last year, so the Board of Education will decide on the passing score for reading, for math, as well as end-of-course exams for algebra and geometry.
Harris goes into Darren Williams. From the corner! They will catch a flight! Darren Williams wins the game!
There is a new service called Winston Club that will help you find a roommate to split a hotel room with when you are traveling. Right? So waking up with a stranger in your hotel room isn't just a nightmare anymore. It's now also an app. I'm sure the people who founded the Winston Club are thinking to themselves, God, how has no one ever thought of this before? And then you just know that in like 2 months' time, they're going to be like, oh, that's why. It's because of the murders.
And that's your Wink News This Morning Eye Opener.
All right, good morning, Southwest Florida. Getting a look at Wink News Doppler radar. Notice most of the rain activity this morning on the East Coast. So if you're heading that way, it's going to be a wet one for us. We've had a few sprinkles throughout Southwest Florida, especially around Hendry County, also in Collier County. Marco Island are dry right now, but a couple more sprinkles could make their way to the southern edge of the island there. Also watching the area in between Bonita Springs and Naples. A few sprinkles look to be heading your way, especially Bonita Springs. So keep that in mind. Maybe grab the umbrella this morning. You'll potentially need it later on today. Also heading out to mainly 60s right now. I'll have another look at your forecast coming up later. Over to you.
All right, Mary, thank you. Only on Wink, a motorcycle driver is hospitalized after crashing in Naples. Here's some video of the scene from last night. Happened on Goodlet Frank Road near Vanderbilt Beach Road. Collier County deputies say the driver swerved to avoid an SUV that didn't apparently see him. Detectives say the driver of the SUV didn't realize they caused the crash and took off from the scene. Well, now deputies need your help trying to find that SUV. They say it's dark in color and was traveling near that intersection, Goodlet Frank and Pine Ridge Roads. It looks like if you have anything you know about the crash, please contact the Collier County Sheriff's Office. Also this morning, the UN Security Council will meet to discuss claims that North Korea successfully conducted a hydrogen bomb test.
If verified, it would mark the first time the country has ever tested a bomb of this type, which experts say is more powerful than an atomic bomb. Wink News anchor Rob Spicker has followed this story all morning long. He joins us live in the studio with more now. Rob.
Sean and Trace, a representative from the White House, is saying that right now the U.S. still cannot confirm if it was a hydrogen bomb test from North Korea, but it is calling on that country's leaders to abide by its international obligations and commitments. This surprise North Korean announcement on state TV called the test a perfect success, and it cited Pyongyang's legal right to defend itself against U.S. aggression.
The real danger for the United States is whether or not North Korea has intentions to demonstrate their capabilities as far as the Pacific.
Now, news of the test came after a 5.1 magnitude earthquake was detected near a North Korea nuclear test site. South Korea, they quickly condemned the detonation, and an emergency National Security Council meeting has been called for today at the UN. The president telling reporters about the test, it is a threat on our people's survival and future and a direct challenge against global peace and safety that's coming out of the South Korea. If it does eventually this can be confirmed, this will be North Korea's 4th nuclear test. The UN Security Council has imposed weapons and financial sanctions against North Korea since they tested its first device back in 2006. Sean and Trace, back to you.
All right, Rob, thank you. And on the docket for you this morning, former Cape Coral police officer Casey Ortiz will appear in court today for his 2nd sexual assault arrest.
Detectives say 35-year-old Casey Ortiz had sex with 2 underage girls while on duty. He entered a not guilty plea for one of those charges last month. Ortiz was fired from the department in 2014 for not filling out the proper forms when he took one of those alleged victims on a ride-along in his patrol car. His case management hearing is scheduled for 1:30 this afternoon. And today, the man accused for a deadly hit and run in Cape Coral is expected back in court. Right now, 55-year-old Gerald Gray is behind bars on a $260,000 bond. Police say Gray hit and killed 83-year-old Donnell Strum at a racetrack gas station on Del Prado Boulevard, then drove off. A toll booth worker spotted Gray's truck in surveillance video, then called police, who were able to make the arrest. Another big case this morning. One of the 6 Baltimore police officers charged in the death of Freddie Gray is also expected in court. Caesar Goodson, he was the driver of the prisoner transport van the day Gray was arrested. He's facing several charges, including 2nd-degree murder, involuntary manslaughter, 2nd-degree assault, and more. Gray died in April after suffering a critical spinal injury in police custody. Jury selection for Goodson, that begins January 11th.
Today, a friend of one of the San Bernardino attackers will appear in court. Enrique Martinez is accused of conspiring with his friend Syed Farouk and providing material to support those terrorists. Martinez also faces 2 counts of making false statements during gun purchases and on immigration paperwork, plus marriage fraud. Right now, the FBI is trying to complete a detailed timeline of the attack, but there's still a gap in the timeline between the attack and the pursuit and the shootout. 14 people died in December in that attack, plus Farouk and his wife. And now this morning, the president is moving forward with efforts to tighten gun laws. He unveiled his 10-point plan in order to plug loopholes that allow firearm sales at gun shows and online without background checks. Many are proposals that President Obama couldn't get through Congress when Democrats were in control. Well, now GOP lawmakers and presidential candidates are speaking out, criticizing Obama's plan to avoid them and act on his own. Also today, President Obama will use his veto power to block a bill passed by Congress that repeals his signature health care law. There have been dozens of previous votes aimed at undoing that health law, but today is the first time a full repeal makes it to the White House. The legislation also cuts federal funding for Planned Parenthood. President Obama will veto that measure. Republicans plan to schedule a veto override vote for January 22nd when anti-abortion activists hold their annual march in Washington. Today, you can participate in the Wellness in the Workplace workshop. That'll be at the Center Court at the Bell Tower Shops in Fort Myers from 4 until 6. All business professionals are invited to attend. It costs just $10 for Chamber of Commerce members, $20 for future members. To register, you want to call that number right there on your screen. It's 332-3624.
Well, you may notice this strange sight along the streets of Southwest Florida in the next few days. Meet 48-year-old Eric Bindle. He calls himself the World Guy. You can see why. He's trekked across America for the last few years pushing this, a giant 6-foot-high, 800-pound inflatable globe around. Some of you are telling us you saw him in Bonita Springs and North Naples while he's raising awareness for diabetes, encouraging people to get healthy, exercise, and eat right. Best of luck to him there. New this hour, the State Board of Education just started a meeting a little less than 10 minutes ago. One topic, student testing.
Wink News reporter Stephanie Susskind is live at the Lee County School District headquarters. Stephanie, tell us, what exactly is the state school board voting on today?
Well, good morning. They're talking about our statewide standardized test and what the passing score will be in order for students to pass. That will be voted on today. They're meeting right now in Tallahassee. Now, the Education Commissioner, Pam Stewart, has already laid out some recommendations of the passing scores she thinks should be put into effect, but some board members would like to see some tougher scores in place. The score that she's recommending would mean that pretty much a majority, about 51% of people, of 7th graders, would pass the exam that's needed to graduate. So they're talking about the scores needed on the reading test, the math test, as well as end of course exams for algebra and geometry. And the student scores on these tests help dictate what grades every school will get within the state of Florida. Now, here in Lee County, next week begins a very important process of open enrollment for school choice. This is when parents of kids going into kindergarten, 6th grade, or 9th grade can choose what school they want their child to go to next year. It's also for parents with children who are brand new to the school district, or if your child just wants to attend a new school next year. The most important thing to remember about this is it is a lottery system, so it doesn't matter if you come out on the first day, which is next Monday, or the last day, which is April 1st. You'll have the same chance of getting your child right into the school of their choice. Coming up a little bit later in the show, we'll hear from one of the school district employees a little bit more about that process. Reporting live in Lee County, Stephanie Susskind, Wink News This Morning.
Well, another big Powerball prize is up for grabs tonight. That drawing will be for an estimated $450 million jackpot.
A lot of people running out for this one. It was initially set for $400 million, but lottery officials say the surge in ticket sales caused an increase. The jackpot's cash value now $275.4 million. That's after taxes. This is the 6th largest jackpot of any U.S. lottery game on record and the 4th largest Powerball jackpot. So if you're playing, best of luck to you.
$2 a ticket. You can't beat that for a chance to win.
Keep your fingers crossed.
Wow.
All right, we've all been talking about it all this week. Now it's finally here. The Consumer Electronics Show starts out today in Las Vegas. We have one last preview before everything gets underway.
Plus, it may cost a little more to fly domestically this year. Airlines are increasing their base fees. Coming up in the Wink News Money Watch report, we'll tell you just how much it's going up. Mary?
All right, thank you, Therese. Well, looking at this low pressure, yeah, we're going to have a chance for rain and clouds today, but tomorrow it's going to be nice and dry. Will it stay that way, though? I've got the answer to that when we return.
Welcome back. Now at Wink, you can make a difference for countless families in Southwest Florida.
The Wink News Feeds Families Hunger Walk is just 10 days from now. That's coming up on Saturday, January 16th. So our goal is to raise $330,000 for the Harry Chapin Food Bank. For your help to donate, just head over to our website, winknews.com. We have a link right on our homepage, very easy to find. We hope to see you out there on the 16th at the Hunger Walk. That's next Saturday. If you don't have plans, we've made them for you. We made it easy. Next weekend.
And you can get a little exercise at the same time for the new year, for those of you still on the wagon of getting your resolutions underway.
Exactly. And Mary, I swear that morning is always one of the chilliest mornings of the year when we go out to the Hunger Walk. We're usually in long sleeves bundled up. But today, that's kind of what we're dealing with a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. We certainly have been cool this morning. Period. Probably going to be the wettest part of the weekend. Over to you.
Mary, thank you. Later on this month, the Fort Myers Miracle will hold their 12th annual Ballpark Festival of Beers, but today is when you can get the discounted tickets. Look at all that going on.
I know, a lot of fun. Check the details out right here. The festival is hosted by the Miracle at Hammond Stadium and the CenturyLink Sports Complex. It is Saturday, January 30th from 6 until 9. Tickets just went on sale, guys, about 15 minutes ago. They're $25 today. They go up on the 30th until the 30th. It's $30 if you wait until you go to the door there. The first 1,000 people to buy a ticket get a free sampling glass. And it's not just drinks. Food will be available, too, through some local restaurants. A lot of fun. All new on Wink this weekend, a producer from the Hulu cooking show Real Food, Real Kitchens is hosting a huge foodie event on Sanibel Island.
The show features everyday people showing the audience how to prepare a traditional family dish that's close to their heart. This Sunday at the Sundial Beach Resort and Spa, that show will screen 2 brand new episodes. That'll cost you $35, and a portion of ticket sales will be donated to the Harry Chapin Food Bank.
And listen to what the tickets get you right here. A sampling of Triggerfish chowder, strawberry shortcake, roasted chicken, vegetables, plus fried green tomatoes. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
It's from 3 to 5:30 with a 2 to 3 cocktail hour. You can go ahead and get your tickets by calling 1-800-838-3006 or at sundial.brownpapertickets.com.
I was hoping it included 2 to 3 cocktails, but I realized it's cocktail
Yeah, when I
hour.
read that first too.
Okay.
So you
All
got to
right.
get your drinks in that hour.
Take it. There's so much going on this time of year here in Southwest Florida. All right, one more food story for you though. Who doesn't love some good barbecue?
Oh.
This weekend's your chance to taste some good eats from some of the country's top cooks.
That's right. For 2 days, you can taste, test, listen to music, drink beer, play games, much more. The best part, though, this is all free, what we're talking about. So where's Wink Now? Wink News reporter John Treeweiler is live with the answer. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Sean and Therese. Big Papa's Country Kitchen, that's where we are. Look, the best ribs in America. So not just a fun festival this weekend, but a big competition. Sean and Therese.
Anything with food involved, John, I'm in.
All right, John,
Yes.
we were talking about this. Are you bringing some ribs back? Is that happening? Or
Did you notice?
Oh,
These are all
hello.
to-go containers.
This is why you're our favorite Where's Wink Now man, John. Where's Wink
Excited
Now is in
crowd
our
here.
bellies.
All right, John, we're going to check in with you in just about 30 minutes. And we do want to feature your nonprofit organization, special fundraising event, or unique attraction in our Where's Wink Now segments in the morning.
Just send us an email to thismorning@winknews.com. Tell us what's going on, and we'd love to come out, have a little fun, have a little food, share some good news about what's happening with our entire community. Time now is 9:21 on your Wednesday morning.
Sometimes love don't feel like it should, baby. Hurts so good. Gonna take a lot to drag me away from you. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. I bless the rains down in
Welcome back to Wink News this morning on WXCW. We are less than 2 hours away from the start of the Consumer Electronics Show, CES, out in Las Vegas.
Yeah, from gigantic TVs to gadgets to adorn every part of your body, this is the place where companies unveil their latest innovations. CNET.com's Kara Suboy gives us a preview of the tech that will shape our year ahead.
Technology that turns clip art into nail art. In Las Vegas, I'm Kara Suboy, CNET.com for CBS News.
Now, of course, Wink News will have updates throughout the week on all the cool things that come out of the CES.
But you can get more real-time updates from the show floor. All you have to do is check out CNET.com. Pretty cool. A lot of folks looking forward to that refrigerator with the
Yeah, the
thing on it.
iPad
Yeah.
kind of thing on it. Yeah.
Tells you when you're out of stuff. Though I have questions about that one there, because how does it know if I'm out of Texas Pete? You know, hot sauce. Like they say milk and eggs,
to
but what if I
know.
don't buy those things?
Right, very specific things, my friend.
CNET.com. Caught on camera for you this morning. We just found this website this morning, but there is a site and YouTube channel completely devoted to catching large trucks like this one simply crashing in North Carolina.
Oh, gosh. Right into that bridge. You see how it does it? A site is called 11foot8.com. That's how all the low bridges are. And it's actually roughly 2 inches shorter than the minimum, that bridge right there. That train trestle is about 100 years old, according to the site. And at the time it was built, there was no minimum clearance. Jurgen Henn is the man who set up the camera. His most popular clips have more than 1 million views, and he even has an online store that sells chunks of metal that were scraped off of the bridge, which he titles Crash Art.
No injuries reported, by the way.
That's
This is
good
just-
news.
yeah.
We don't recommend this. Look at that.
But it catches all these trucks every time. You go online and watch this over and over and over.
him.
All right, Wink News is back in less than 3 minutes. We're live on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange.
You're watching Wink News this morning, Southwest Florida's news leader.
Welcome back. We're coming up on 9:30 at the New York Stock Exchange. Opening bell is about to ring.
Let's check in with Wink News Money Watch reporter Jill Wagner at the Stock Exchange. She has all of our business and consumer news of the morning. Good morning, Jill.
Good morning, Therese and Sean. Job growth surged in December. Payroll processor ADP says private companies added 257,000 jobs. That is a lot more than expected. The opening bell just rang here on Wall Street, and the very low start here. Looking at the big board, the Dow already down 111 points. Airlines are raking in record profits because of low fuel costs, but that is not translating into cheaper tickets. Most major airlines kicked off the new year by raising prices on round-trip tickets by about $6. Delta was first. Southwest, American, United, JetBlue, and Virgin America quickly matched that increase. Not what we want to hear, right? Therese and Sean.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Jill, all right, we hear the Stars Network will be shining a little bit brighter. Can you tell us what that's about?
Yeah, Star Wars The Force Awakens is breaking records at the box office, and soon you'll be able to watch it at home legally. The cable network Starz has acquired the TV rights to the film, part of a much bigger deal between Starz and Disney. No word, though, on what Starz is paying for that. I'm thinking a lot. Therese and Sean?
Yeah, you can imagine a hefty price tag, though. Jill, you've never even seen Star Wars.
Me either.
Or
No,
Therese.
you know what? If I can watch it on Starz for free because I have it, I guess I'll I'll cave.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You got to plan. It's long, though. It's a marathon. You got to take a whole day off.
I've got time.
At least see Empire Strikes Back. Just see that one. That's a classic.
You know what? I've been looking though on TV and like Netflix and stuff. I've been trying to figure out where I could watch the first 3 at least, and no luck so far.
You got to rent them.
Hot commodities, yeah.
Yep.
I'm glad we don't have to deal with the movie theater crowds if we can sit in our living room and watch it on Starz. That sounds good.
Starz got you.
Exactly, much easier.
Jill Wagner live in New York. Thanks so much. Good to talk to you again. All right, let's get a check of local weather right now. Mary May is standing by. Hey, Mary.
Hi, Sean. I'm over here boxing with one of our floor crew right now. But yeah, looking at Doppler radar. Leave you with a very quick look at our 7-day forecast before sending it back to you, Sean and Therese.
All right, Mary, thank you. Right now, for the second day in a row, an Atlanta area SWAT team dealing with a standoff.
A SWAT team has sealed off a neighborhood in Beaufort, Georgia, about 35 miles northeast of Atlanta to deal with what police call a barricaded gunman holding a 2-year-old boy inside a home. We have some pictures to show you from CBS 46 in Atlanta. No one is allowed in or out of the neighborhood. As of right now, though, nobody's been hurt. The standoff began late last night when someone called police to report that a man was threatening to shoot everyone at the home and then take his own life. Now, this standoff comes just 1 day after police in nearby DeKalb County had a standoff situation there. A man with a knife held 11 children and his girlfriend inside a motel room for 5 hours before he stabbed himself in the neck. Luckily, though, no one else was hurt in that situation.
Right now, there is no sign authorities are planning to take any action against the protesters in the armed standoff at an Oregon wildlife refuge. Law enforcement is quietly monitoring the anti-government group led by Amon Bundy, protesting the prison sentence of a father and son convicted of arson. The FBI has said it's looking for a peaceful resolution. We'll keep you updated on that one. In an emotional appeal, President Obama called his executive actions aimed at curbing gun violence common sense steps that still respect the Second Amendment.
During his announcement, the most powerful man in the world broke down in tears. Leaders anchor Jen Stacy's been reporting on this story all morning long. She joins us live in the studio with more. Jen?
Well, Sean and Therese, the president has talked about gun law change for years. He said since Congress never acted, he would. During a news conference when remembering the 20 first graders killed in the Newtown, Connecticut shooting, President Obama got emotional.
Every time I think about those kids, it gets me mad. And by the way, it happens on the streets of Chicago every day.
The centerpiece of the president's plan is to expand background checks, requiring all gun dealers, even those who sell firearms at gun shows and on the internet, to be licensed and conduct background checks, hiring more investigators to make checks more efficient and effective, and increasing mental health treatment and reporting to background check systems. The FBI says that it conducted a record 23 million background checks last year. A number of Republicans are vowing to block any change in gun laws. They say it is up to Congress to enact new policies on firearms. Sean and Trace, back to you.
And now on Week News, Campaign Central, Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders pledges to break up the country's largest financial institutions within the first year of his administration if he's elected to the White House.
And Sanders also wants to cap ATM fees at $2 and cap interest rates on credit cards and consumer loans at 15%. On the Republican side, Ted Cruz tries to make a joke out of Republican presidential rival Donald Trump. He's raising questions about whether the Texas senator's birth in Canada could be a liability if he becomes the GOP nominee. Now, you remember Cruz was born in Canada, but his mother is a U.S. citizen. He has renounced his Canadian citizenship.
Donald Trump is catching attention for correcting fans at one of his rallies. This comes after an incident back in September when he failed to correct a rally-goer who incorrectly labeled President Obama as a Muslim. This time he took a different approach. Trump jokingly reprimanded a man at the rally that yelled the country's leaders are Muslims. Trump also used that tactic when someone in the crowd made a comment about Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton being in the bathroom. Well, the well-known Tokyo Shizuki Fish Market held its final auction before its relocation scheduled for later on this year.
Yeah, boy, was this a big one. This year, a 440-pound, look at this, bluefin from northern Japan fetched the top price of about $120,000. That's the 5th highest auction price in the past decade. The winner of the fish told reporters it's a great tuna and splendid quality. Splendid.
Not just good quality, splendid.
Exactly. And on Week News this morning, this Atlanta area math teacher getting in touch with his funky side. A challenge from his students has made him go viral. You're going to hear his story coming up in the Week News Flash.
Breaking it down, tonight begins the final season of Fox's American Idol. But before that, we have a special surprise for our 9 a.m. viewers. You are not going to want to miss it, we promise. So stick around, just a couple minutes away. Time now is 9:37. Welcome back to Wink News this morning here on WXCW. Tonight over on CBS is the People's Choice Awards.
That's right. It is live. It starts at 9, hosted by Jane Lynch. A different award being given out tonight is the Favorite Humanitarian Award. It goes to the lady you see there, Ellen DeGeneres. The honor comes with a $200,000 donation from Walgreens, which DeGeneres is directing towards St. Jude Children's Hospital. She's also up for Favorite Talk Show Host. Always enjoy watching her too.
Yeah.
Now happening today, tickets for the hugely popular music and arts festival Coachella, they go on sale today.
It's a weekend festival in Indio, California. It runs from April 5th to the 7th and April 22nd to 24th, rather. LA rockers Guns N' Roses will headline Coachella this year, along with DJ Calvin Harris and reunited electronic rock band LCD Sound System. But the list of performers is huge. You've got Sia, Major Lazer, Ice Cube, Ellie Goulding, and Monsters and Men. So many others. You got those 2 weekends you can choose from, the 5th to the 7th or the 22nd, 24th. It's kind of a big, crazy
A lot of people
fest.
love it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot of songs.
Tonight is also beginning the final season of one of the most successful TV franchises of all time. We know it well around here, American Idol.
That's right. It started on June 11, 2002. Kelly Clarkson won that first season, and since then, 13 other singers have launched into stardom because of this talent show. In its prime, Idol was a ratings juggernaut. The show averaged more than 30 million weekly viewers at its 2006 peak and ranked #1 for 9 consecutive years. But over the last few years, viewership has declined. The final season begins at 8 tonight on Fox. Now, in case you didn't know, it is no secret around here. I once auditioned for American Idol myself. This was back in 2012.
And this is probably why American Idol's not doing as well anymore.
When I made the appearance.
That was the peak. And as a special treat, we dug up that very special segment that Idol did on Sean right before his audition in front of the judges. Check it out.
When I say, who do you look like, what do you say?
Ryan Seacrest. I say Sean. Sean Kreisman. Ryan Seacrest.
Do it again.
Look at little Sean, he's so young and adorable. And now, ultimately, Sean did not make it to Hollywood. He made it to Southwest Florida, which I think is better, but that is good news for us.
Therese, thank
So
you.
now you're here.
I'm nervous right now. I remember this moment like it was yesterday. I'll never forget it, singing in front of these guys.
I mean, how cool to meet Ryan Seacrest, Jennifer Lopez.
Oh,
You
it
got
was so cool. They were
Randy.
very nice, but I didn't get the ticket,
Bummer.
and I was so sad that day. I was so sad walking out there because my whole family was there. You know how you walk out of the place and your whole family standing there didn't have the ticket, and I'm still sad. I haven't gotten over it, guys.
We'll get you
I
one.
know.
Can we get you where you need to go to maybe get one for the final season right now?
I don't know.
Is
We
it
need
too
to
late?
contact Ryan somewhere out there.
He's your buddy. I think we can work on that. In the meantime, we'll keep you here. So
Okay.
coming up right after the break, you'll get your most accurate weather forecast with Week meteorologist Barry Mays.
Plus the Week News Flash, all today's headlines and more. You're watching Week News this morning on WXCW.
And we're going to be cooler as we head into next week. Over to you.
Mary, thank you. It is time for the Week News Flash, all today's headlines and more for the world of news, sports, and entertainment. We do start with breaking news right now. The U.S. Attorney's Office in California has opened a criminal investigation into Chipotle.
It's tied to the norovirus outbreak last summer at one of its restaurants in California. The FDA is also part of this investigation. Chipotle says the subpoena requires it to produce a broad range of documents. And this is some breaking news just in the last hour. We'll have more on this coming up on Week News at noon, so you want to stick around for that.
North Korea says it has conducted a powerful hydrogen bomb test, a surprising move that, if confirmed, would be a huge jump in the country's quest to improve its limited nuclear arsenal. South Korea's spy agency and other nuclear experts have doubts, as do the U.S.
President Obama moves forward with efforts to tighten gun laws by bypassing Congress using his executive power. The plan extends mandatory background checks at gun shows, flea markets, and online sales. Democratic presidential candidates Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders are applauding the effort, while Republican candidates are vowing to dismantle any steps the president takes.
This afternoon, former Cape Coral police officer Casey Ortiz will appear in court for his second sexual battery arrest. Detectives say 35-year-old Casey Ortiz had sex with 2 underage girls while he was on duty. He entered a not guilty plea for one of those charges last month. Ortiz was fired from the department in 2014 for not filling out the proper forms when he took one of those alleged victims on a ride-along in his patrol car.
Right now, the State Board of Education is in the middle of a big meeting. How your child is tested is on the agenda.
Wink News reporter Stephanie Susskind, she is live at the Lee County School District headquarters right now. Good morning.
Good morning. The State Board of Education is meeting right now in Tallahassee, and one of the big things they're going to decide is what the passing score is that will be needed for students on that new statewide standardized exam. It was first introduced last year, and now state leaders need to decide what score students need to achieve in order to pass. Of course, you can count on Wink News to keep you updated on that throughout the day as the state makes a decision. Here in Lee County, though, the big focus is getting prepared for school enrollment and school choice. That all begins next week. That's the process when parents can sign up their kids if they're going into kindergarten, 6th grade, or 9th grade for what school they want to attend next year. Now, this is also for students who are new to the district, or if you just want to go to a different school next year. Now, this is a lottery system, and that's really important to remember. We spoke to school district officials this morning about how it all works. Take a listen.
Open enrollment period opens on January 11th, Monday, and runs till April 1st. Doesn't really matter what time you submit your application. They're all considered at the same time. Doesn't matter if you're on the first day or the last day. We'll run the lottery on the last day, and that's when we determine the assignment of students.
Now, you only have to actually sign up in person if you're new to the district. Otherwise, you can go through this process online. We have all of the information for you on our website, winknews.com. Just look for this story. Reporting live in Lee County, Stephanie Susskind, Wink News This Morning.
Stephanie, thank you. And now in the Wink News flash stories that are new right now off the Wink wires. The U.S. Pacific Fleet is shrinking even as its allies face challenges because China's military continues to grow.
The Pacific Fleet we're talking about currently has 182 vessels, which includes combat ships as well as auxiliary and logistic vessels. Nearly 2 decades ago, the fleet had 192. U.S. Navy officials say more advanced ships make up for the decline in numbers.
A reputed mobster is expected to appear in court today. Robert Gentile is suspected of having knowledge about long-sought stolen artwork. The FBI believes Gentile knows about something of the 1990 theft of the $500 million in art from Boston's Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. The 13 pieces of art have never been found, and nobody has been charged in the robbery.
And the launch of a digital lottery to get discounted Broadway tickets for the hit Broadway show Hamilton didn't exactly go as planned. More than 50,000 people overwhelmed the site to win 21 discounted front row tickets. Now, some of those people got false messages saying they'd won one of the coveted spots. Well, starting today, people will have to once again stand in line outside until the online system is fixed.
In the gaming world this morning, Activision Blizzard has purchased Major League Gaming. That's a move to push it deeper into esports. The deal to purchase the 12-year-old competitive gaming organizer is reportedly worth $46 million. Activision CEO says the plan is to create the ESPN of competitive gaming. That competitive gaming genre draws tens of millions of spectators online and in person. Last year, a reported 205 million people watched esports. That was just in 2014.
Tonight at 6, baseball will reveal the newest members of its Hall of Fame, with one player in particular getting a lot of attention. Ken Griffey Jr. on track to being possibly the first player ever to get 100% of the vote. 75% is needed to gain entry. Right now, Tom Seaver has the record at 98.84%. Mike Piazza, Jeff Bagwell, and Tim Raines are also strong candidates to get into Cooperstown this year. Staying in baseball, Nationals first baseman Ryan Zimmerman and Phillies first baseman Ryan Howard have filed defamation lawsuits against Al Jazeera America. The suit alleges Charles Sly, a pharmacist who appeared in the documentary, made false statements when he said Zimmerman and Howard both took a human growth hormone. And the sports world went nuts over this. Former Chicago Bears great Brian Urlacher now has hair. He appeared on Chicago's WGN Morning News Tuesday, sporting a glorious head of hair there. You see him there. His entire NFL career, he was bald. Former linebacker got a hair transplant, he said. He said he did it to give himself a confidence boost.
Or is it because he wanted to look a little more like you, Sean?
He's pulling it off.
Possibly. Yeah,
it's good.
Looks good. New right now in the Wink News Flash, U.S. tennis star Serena Williams has withdrawn from the Hopman Cup because of inflammation in her left knee. This is a major setback in her preparations for next month's Australian Open. Vicky Duval will replace Williams on the U.S. team for the last Group A match against the Czech Republic tomorrow. The U.S. team is 0-2 and cannot reach the final of the Hopman Cup in Australia. Reports from October about Netflix reviving the comedy drama Gilmore Girls are starting to swell again. Saw this one trending on Facebook this morning, mostly because these photos were posted by Twitter user Catty Glass. She says they show areas of the series' fictional town of Stars Hollow. And if you're a fan of the show, you can see the resemblance is uncanny. Warner Brothers has not yet commented on the photos. We'll have to wait and see. The Golden Globes is stacking the stage with stars. Oscar winner and current Globes nominee Helen Mirren will also be a presenter at Sunday's ceremony. Among those joining her as presenters, Bryce Dallas Howard, Jim Carrey, Olivia Wilde, Jamie Foxx, Amy Adams, Julianne Moore, and Mel Gibson. Some huge names there. The Golden Globes airs live this Sunday at 5 on NBC. Well, if you haven't seen this on social media yet, you will soon enough because it's pretty awesome.
That's right. Atlanta-based teacher Ron Clark accepted a dance challenge from his students. Here's the result.
What do you call that? Is that like a whip and a nay-nay?
I don't think it is a whip and a nay-nay. No, it's doing.
That's crazy.
It's
well,
good.
that middle-aged guy right in the middle, that's Ron Clark. He's a former Teacher of the Year and founded the Ron Clark Academy in 2007. Every student but one has passed through and gone to college, which is a remarkable statistic in just the past 9 years. Crazy. Good moves, man.
Get out there and dance.
Like that. Big news this morning, back in just a couple minutes.